Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about series. Why I love them, why I hate them, what I love about them, what I can't stand about them, things I've learned in being in them, all of it. I'm going to try to hit it all. Well, this actually may be a couple of videos, but we'll see what we can fit. Okay, so I guess the first type of series, first of all, there are several types of series. You can obviously have your own series of books. So, a book 1, book 2, 3. 2 books, duology. 3 books is a trilogy. Anything more than that is a series. And technically the others are series as well, but hey, semantics. Series are tricky, but series can also be amazing. A lot of new authors will come in and say, I'm going to write a 10-book series. Well, that's fabulous, but that goes back to that thing I always talk about with debuts are not the same as a book 2. Debuts are not the same as a book 10. So you want to be really careful if you're a new author and you don't have a large following, never to think about doing like a 10-book series unless you're sure that you're going to be able to get the readers at that initial book 1 to carry them all the way through to the end of the series. It is rare to be able to do that in indie. If you can do it, good on you. It's awesome. As an author, I can tell you I love to write in series because it's less work. You already know the setting. You already know the characters. You're able to stay in that same world that you have fallen in love with and keep at it, and it's great. It can be wonderful for your readers, too, who want more, and they know there's another book coming, and there you go. That's going to be awesome, a way to get them coming back. The problem is, if you don't hook them in book 1, you won't sell book 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've seen up to 16 in indie. I mean, obviously, it could be even more. It's really endless with these. What I often suggest to newer authors is, look, write in the same world, but don't call it a book 2. It's okay to use the same characters from one book to the next. I do it all the time, and we call them Easter eggs, a little nugget where, oh my gosh, I look at it as a reward to my readers. They're like, wait, isn't that the guy? And what book was that? And my hardcore, diehard readers will be able to tell me what book. In fact, sometimes they'll know what book that character came from, and I won't remember, like, what the connection was. I would say 80% of my books have crossover characters, but 90% of my books are standalones. And the reason for that is, here's the deep down dirty story. I was with I was with Limitless Publishing, and I gave them a book 1 about a series I was so excited about. It's called Lola, Party of 8. It's a series about a woman who has DID, more commonly referred to, even though this is wrong, as multiple personality disorder. And the series was about, well, it was a 3-book series. I had originally intended to write a 7-book series because I was going to do each of the personalities in her head. The 3 books are called Alters, Host, and Merge. So my intention was I'm going to make this great series. I'm going to follow each of the, call it characters, but also alter egos that were living in this woman's head and how they experienced the same events throughout the book, throughout the story. And of course, the story would build and build and build. And book 1 didn't sell. Now, that was not my fault. That was not really Limitless's fault. What it is that I put that book in the wrong place. Limitless is an amazing publisher for romance, for dark fiction, for certain genres, very specific genres. Other genres, they just don't have the readers for it. Their readers want romance. Well, there was nothing romantic about this book. It was actually pretty dark. So book 1 didn't do very well, and Limitless said, hey, we're not going to do a book 2. We can't. Why would we do a book 2 when book 1 didn't sell well enough? Part of that was my fault, too, because I didn't understand promotion and pimping and sort of doing that other part of author work. I really didn't understand it like I do now, that you literally have to be there daily, actively engaged, always cultivating new readers, always exploring new ways to market yourself, your books, your work, your personality, everything. I didn't understand all of that. I just wanted to write the books and hand them to someone who knew what they were doing, and away we went. So Alters, I think, was my 4th book. I had done really well with books 1, 2, and 3, and I had great hopes for this, and I thought, I'm here now, I'm gonna do a series. So when they cut that series, I was absolutely mortified. I didn't know what to do. They gave me my rights back. They were super cool about it, like no harm done. I still have books with them now that do fine, and they, you know, still send me my royalty checks every month because those books are in the right genre for that publishing house. Anyway, I got the book 1 back, and just wanted to cry, and it was actually part of what made me first say, you better learn how to self-publish. So I did, because I wasn't ready to let go of that series. Ultimately, long story short, I decided to make this 7-book series into a 3-book series, because even when I self-published it, I found that after book 2, I started having trouble. I don't know if it was that the writing wasn't good enough to keep people interested, that it was too complex of a story. There are parts of me that think that story is so complex because you really are following 7 characters in one host body, one person. Writing that book was a trick. I mean, I had spreadsheets on the walls, like I always have these backdrops. Well, that was like straight up sheets with diagrams of characters. Like, no joke. That was just like, this guy is here, he's age 7, lives in this part of her brain, and this lady's here, and she's age 72 and lives in this part of her brain. It was crazy to manage, but it was so much fun to write. I'm glad I did the 3 books in the series, and ultimately I merged them all into one huge fat book called Lola. I still love that book, and I've got several readers who will tell me to this day that Lola Party of 8, that series, is their favorite of all of my books, that Lola the character is their favorite of all of my characters, and they stuck with me. But that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. And so it made me understand that, yeah, by book 3, I wasn't doing very well sell-wise. I think rank when I released book 3 was in around 40,000, and that wasn't good considering where book 1 had released and was considered a fail, you know. So I rethought that, made it into 3 books, ended up being happy with it, did the best I could with it, but lived and learned. So that kind of soured me on series, and for a little while I really stayed away from it. I didn't want to get that invested in something and then get to book 3 and then realize no one else cares but you, Erin. I mean, that's just the reality. You have to be honest. I think a huge part of publishing successfully is being able to suck it up. Yeah, that whole suck it up buttercup. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to make rational, non-emotional choices about what's working, what's landing, and what isn't. So I did that and stopped with series writing for a while. Enter my Diary of a Serial Killer series. There was no way I could tell that entire story in one book, and I knew it. Book 1 did so well. I mean, it was so successful, book 1. The most, to this day, successful of any of my solo releases. So book 1, called Just Things, did really well. And my readers were begging for a book 2, which wasn't hard. They weren't twisting my arm because I just had so much left to say. Fast forwarding again, that became a 6-book series, and only because of readers. 3 of I figured, all right, I'll do it as a trilogy again, like I did with Lola. I know that it worked as best as I could have hoped. So I'll do another trilogy. And then when the trilogy was done and they were catching on to me, Erin, you can't just do 3. And I'm like, well, too bad, we're doing 3. And I ended it in a very hard way where, like, no, you can't talk me into a book 4. They talked me into a book 4 by asking for a prequel, which is called Mama, and it's about the main character's mother and being raised, what basically turned him into a serial killer. So that's lovely. Fast forward a little bit more, and they still want more. They're still asking for more. And when readers are asking you to write books, it's really hard to say no because, I mean, isn't that the goal? So I was asked to be part of, and a big part of, as a publisher as well as an author, a multi-genre series. No, it actually wasn't multi-genre. It was romance series, of all things. Romance series called The Ice Cream Shop. And the books had to be romantic, but yet they had to have a theme of ice cream. Well, in my Jimmy books, that's the Diary of a Serial Killer books, the series that had done so well, the serial killer owns an ice cream shop. So there was no way I couldn't turn around and write a sequel to the series, which turned into a whole nother thing. Cotton Candy was the name of book. I guess at that point that would be 5, because remember we have the prequel now, Mama. And away we went. Then again, it happened, and it's happening now. I've got a book on pre-order right now, Candy's Broken Hearts, about the serial killer's wife and a jailhouse wedding and all that. Without giving too much away and spoiler alerts, here is the gist. My Diary of a Serial Killer series, which is now 2.5 years old, is selling again. Why? Because I basically put it into a whole nother group of readers' hands. And while they're romance readers, they are now in love with this quirky couple and are going back through the series to figure out how this all started. So here's where series can be fantastic. Type 1 of a series is a solo author writes a series, book after book after book, on the same topic, same setting, same story. Another type of series is a multi-author, many times multi-genre, but not always, series where a bunch of authors write around a central theme, whether it's a place, whether it's a like an assigned idea or theme. It could be like survivors of abuse. It could be a fictional town. We have a huge one called the Escape series. The fictional town of Escape, Colorado. And authors are all given specific stats on, this is the culture, this is the climate, here are the main stores, here are the main places, these are the characters in passing that you are required to put into your book as you go. But other than that, sky's the limit. You're basically just setting your book in a shared world. It's often referred to as shared world books. So basically what I did is I put book 5 into a series similar to that, except for the rule with that one was it had to be an ice cream theme. And cotton candy was the flavor I chose. And away I went and brought it back, this romance book, to my horror stuff, which was super cool and tricky and worked. And I was like, it's working, and it's still working. And so yay me, that worked out well. There's a huge benefit to writing in a multi-author, multi-publisher, multi series. Why? One word, the cross promo. You're going to pick up readers from in whole different circles than yours. That will now become your readers too, and vice versa. Your readers will discover new authors in that author circle, and it's a really cool thing to be able to do. I was a little reluctant when I was asked to set up, 7 million of these shop series, but now I'm not. Now I'm sold. I see the numbers with the reports, whether it's my own books or authors I publish, those shop series books sell. And what that tells me is these sort of shared world, multi-author, publish it however you publish it, series really do well. One reason for that, because I've asked my readers, why is this working? Well, they want to collect the books. They don't want to have 6 of the books but not 30. They don't want to have 4 of the books but not 10, however many are in the series. This is an important, cool thing to know and do. And when your reader group starts to get not stale, but you want to expand it, when it's time to say, hey, I want this group to be bigger, you want to hit one of these series. I've got one coming out at Christmas. It's a whole different group. Nothing to do with the shop series, nothing to do with Crazy Ink, with a bunch of people I don't even know, and I'm already making new friends, new connections, meeting their readers, etc. I will continue to do this slowly as I go. I'm writing less now as Erin Lee. I will make some announcements on what I plan to do with Erin Lee and what I plan to do with my other pen names in the future. But for now, I will say that my personal plans are shifting. But even with that said, I will always find ways to participate in group collaborations for projects that are in shared worlds and those types of series, because they work. They just do. And there are struggles with them. They can be rough. They can be, well, there's politics, there's drama, there's this one's doing more work than that one, there's promoting someone and they don't promote you, or the other way around. There's the expectation of, hey, if other people are going out of the way to promote your book, you better do it back. So there's a little pressure that comes with it. But to me, that's so worth it. And I think when you get a good team and a good group, which is what we have with the Shop series, everybody kind of pitches in with the stuff they want to do, and it doesn't feel like work. If someone's good at making teasers, they'll just do it. If someone's good at making trailers, they'll just do it. If someone's good on one platform, they'll just do it. And when you have a group effort like that, I mean, hey, can you win better than that? I don't think so. So those series I would recommend till the end of time. I'm all about them. I will do more in the future, probably not as Erin Lee, but I certainly will. Definitely under E.L. George. I'm looking for groups where that sort of genre is the thing, and that's hard to find because E.L. George, under that pen name, I write sort of memoir, real life, almost nonfiction, but not fictionalized fiction, lit fiction, that sort of feel genre. And that's hard to find. So that's one of my current goals right now, is to find that and to kind of dive back into that world through the use of a series. I've even thought about taking some of my case management-y type books that are about like saving kids, basically at-risk kids, which is what I did forever for a living. Now I'm in a different type of therapy work. But in collaborating them into one like bigger series, but I'm not sure how that's going to look yet. I think my point with this is series have their perks. They do. Better than a solo series is a cross-promotional multi-author series. And it doesn't have to be a huge cross-promotional. I mean, you could do it. You could team up with 6 authors from 6 places. Everybody publishes with their own publisher, wherever they're comfortable, whatever. But expand your circle that way. And it doesn't have to be a huge group. As long as your publisher's on board, as long as you understand what you're getting yourself into, why not? All you're doing is, you're making a deadline. You're working within the parameters of that project. And away you go. And to me, it's more effective than anthologies as far as getting new readers, because an anthology, first of all, anthology readers are very specific. And a lot of them just only like anthologies because really what they are is short story lovers. But with multi-series, those type of readers are reading the full novella, the full novel, whatever the case may be. Generally with these, I'm finding in indie that they're novella. So that's pretty simple. You're talking 20 to 40,000 words. It's not something that's going to take years and years to do. And generally you have a year to do it. So, I mean, it's just such a great way to cross network and to meet people. And, even if you pick up 2 new readers, that's 2 new readers that you would not have picked up just so self-centered on you. I don't mean self-centered like selfish, but centered on self, like on your own solo series. With that said, if you've got a strong book 1 and you can sell the book 2 and you got readers just clamoring for that book 4 even, do it. I mean, I'm not anti-series. Where I start to go, this may not be worth it, is when the only one left who cares is grandma and the author. At that point, you're spinning your wheels and you're setting yourself up for heartache. You're better off writing some hard-hitting standalones and finding readers that way, because people don't want to buy a book 4. They want to start at the beginning. So, yeah, my thoughts on theories. Yeah, good work. I could learn to speak somewhere in this, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think I'm too old. What am I doing? That's my thoughts on series. Until next time, peace, love, books and crazy.